카페쇼에 참가객으로 다녀왔는데 챔피언님 못 만나 뵈어서 진짜 아쉬웠습니다. 줄이 너무 길어서 못 뵙고 그냥 나왔네요. 이번 대회에서 우승하신 거 다시 한번 축하드립니다. 이거 다 이해하셨나요 혹시?
네, 다 이해했어요. 감사합니다.
굉장히 특별한 분을 모셨습니다. 2022년 WBC 월드 바리스타 챔피언십 호주 국가대표로 출전하셔서 1등을 하신 앤서니 더글라스 모셨습니다.
Hey everyone, so my name's Anthony Douglas. I'm the 2022 World Barista Champion coming from Melbourne, Australia.
제가 물론 영어를 굉장히 잘 하지만 또 부족한 부분이 많기 때문에 통역을 도와주실 우리 언스페셜티 준하님 또 모셨습니다.
안녕하세요. 언스페셜티 팀원 이준하입니다. 반갑습니다, 여러분.
앤서니가 굉장히 한국말을 잘 하시더라고요. 저 깜짝 놀랐어요. 앤서니라고 부르지 않고 저희가 오늘 선희님이라고.
선희?
네, 안선희님으로 불러도 괜찮을까요? 혹시?
네, 괜찮아요.
어떻게 저희 방송 나와주셨는데 보신 적 있으신가요?
Of course.
주단님 가셔도 되겠다. 한국말 어떻게 이렇게 잘하세요?
여자친구한테 인풋이 많이 들어서
주단님 가셔도 돼요. 월드 바리스타 챔피언십에 나가셔서 1등을 하셨잖아요. 1등을 하실 거라는 기대를 좀 하셨나요?
I did actually. I don't mean to sound arrogant at all, but I think this year we worked so hard, like myself and the entire team at Axel Coffee Roasters. So honestly, felt like we couldn't lose. I've been competing for 7 years, and this year I worked harder than I ever have before. And yeah, I think I did a lot of things outside of the competition to help sort of develop my confidence and my mindset. So things like meditation, visualization, all sorts of things just to help sort of build confidence.
명상을 하셨어요?
Every day, like morning and night, I do meditations and sometimes up to about an hour each session.
그러면 그 7번 나간 중에서 호주 국가대표 선발전에서는 몇 등을 계속 하신 거예요?
Second, second. Couldn't quite win for a long time. Another thing that has helped me is just understanding power of persistence, you know. So I think Giangiana, pretty sure she competed for about 10 years before winning. Sasa Sestic competed for 10 years as well. You know, I think one of the reasons why people don't succeed in competition is because they pull out too soon. They give up too soon. I think as long as you keep competing, as if you keep improving and if you keep fixing your mistakes, you will win. It's going to happen. You know, it's just a matter of time. Like for me, in my first couple of years, I thought I was going to win. Like every year, I was like, oh, I'm going to win this year. I can feel it, you know. But I wasn't ready to win. So I think you need to have the mindset that yes, it's going to take a long time.
매일 한 어느 정도 연습하셨어요?
I think when I was training hard, it was probably around 60 hours a week. My boss has always been very supportive of me in competition. So at first, I was training outside of work. So I'd be training at night and on the weekends as well. But then as it got closer to competition, you know, we'd make a bit of a deal and he'd say, okay, you can spend half your hours training, half your hours working. When I won the national competition, I was just paid to train full time. Thank you, boss.
7년째 대회를 나가셨잖아요. 왜 포기하지 않으셨어요?
So I think there are a few reasons. One reason was I was always so close that it felt silly to give up. So I was always like second, third. So I knew I was getting closer and I knew I had what it took to win if I kept persisting. I think the other reason too is I always understood the mistakes I was making. So it was easy for me to improve. So every year I'd make mistakes and I'd fix them and come back the next year. I'd make new mistakes and then fix those ones. Another reason too is competition. It's always been something that I've tied to my future, you know, like I want to win, but competition was always about sort of setting up a future for myself and for my partner, Sue, as well. You know, I wanted to help provide just like a financially stable future and I had a bigger motivation than winning because I wanted to travel the world and I want to do things like this and I want to support baristas and support competitors. So I think I had a lot of motivation bigger than myself.
월드 챔피언이 되셨잖아요. 앞으로 스페셜티 커피씬은 좀 어떤 방향으로 나갈 것이다.
There's been a lot of focus recently on coffee pricing. You know, there's been a lot of events all over the world that have increased the price of green coffee and it's making it harder and harder to sustain the specialty coffee industry. So a lot of people still think that specialty coffee, or they think that coffee is a functional beverage. It's something that you drink to wake up. There's still a lot of people who don't understand that coffee can be amazing. It can have unique qualities and it can be specialty, you know, similar to wine, for example. So I think there's going to be an increase of prices, coffee prices in the cafe, and in order to justify those prices, I think there's going to be a lot of creativity and a lot of work done in the role of the barista and how we connect those coffees to the customer and really deliver upon what we say we will in the cup, whether it's through our skills or it's through the way that we serve and the way that we communicate flavor and descriptors and things like that. Let us purge the grinder or get rid of some of the coffee grinds first.
커피 그라인딩을 하시면서 이전에 미분이나 피를 좀 없앤다고 하십니다.
So the recipe I used for my espresso on stage was 20 grams in, 48 grams out, and I think it was around 26 to 28 seconds. Now what I've done is I've adjusted the recipe for today, just for the water here in Korea and on this machine. So I'm just using 20 grams in, 43 grams out. So this is the whisk distribution technique that I'm using. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the manual version where you're whisking the coffee around. So this is essentially the manual version, but it's on autopilot. So this is called the auto comb. It's a prototype. It's the only one in existence right now, so it's very precious. So I can show you how it works. So I'll move it a little bit closer maybe. So basically it locks on, right? A little karate chop down, and then just spin the handle, and that helps clean the surface. The pins extend all the way to the bottom of the basket, distributing it evenly from top to bottom.
툴을 끼우시고 락인을 하신 이후에 눌러주시면 균일하게 돌아가고 이 핀들이 에스프레소 컵 하단까지 위치를 한다고 합니다.
So the tamper I'm using as well too, it's sort of designed so it fits onto the basket and it always has an even tamp.
템퍼도 바스켓 사이즈에 맞게 제작이 되어 있는 거고 항상 균일한 템퍼를 줄 수 있도록 이걸 사용한다고 하십니다.
Okay, the coffee I'm using is an anaerobic natural sidra. It's from Colombia and it's produced on a farm called El Diviso. So the producer's name is Nestor Lasso. So I found with this coffee, it really benefits by cooling down. So I served it to the judges at 50 degrees. So what we'll do is we'll let it cool down for about a minute and then we'll give it a good stir and enjoy. So for me, in this coffee, we get a lot of purple flavor notes. So flavor notes along the lines of purple grape, black cherry, blackberry, black currant. There's a big sort of red wine note too on the finish. The tactile is quite thick and creamy, and you get those red wine tannins on the finish as well.
실제로 앤서니가 대회 때 사용한 커피랑 똑같다고 합니다. 완전 체리체리한데요? 닥터페퍼 아세요?
Dr. Pepper, yeah.
네, 진짜 맛있네요.
It's very consistent in the flavor notes. So for example, we'd serve it to 4 people, and everyone would say, wow, it tastes like cherry. Like they all got the same flavor note. At the WBC, I used a higher milk dose, so 22.5 grams is what I dosed. I'm using 20 grams, and I've scaled the recipe down. So it's the same brew ratio, the same flow rate, the same ratio to milk, but I've just scaled it down a little bit.
WBC 대회에서는 밀크 파우더를 22.5g을 사용을 하셨는데 지금은 22.5에서 20g으로 이제 하향 조정을 하셨는데 사용하신 밀크 파우더와 우유의 비율은 동일하게 조절을 하셨다고 합니다. For the espresso, it's 20 grams in.
Yep, the espresso in the milk drink or just the espresso by itself?
Espresso in the milk drink.
Oh, in the milk drink, it's 20 grams in, 36 grams out.
20g을 사용하시고 36g 아웃입니다.
So at the WBC, I weighed the milk in the cup, so I'll do the same thing today. So I've got the powder here. So what it is, it's essentially freeze-dried milk. How it works is we placed frozen milk into the freeze dryer and it lowers the pressure, creating a vacuum, and it also applies a gentle heat. And what that does is it causes the water in the milk to turn directly into a vapor, leaving behind a powder of milk that's concentrated by 900%, and it still maintains the quality and the integrity of the milk.
이 밀크 파우더는 한국어로 하면 아마 우유 냉동 증류법일 것 같아요. 급속 냉동하는 방식과 동일하고요. 이 우유를 얼려서 급속 냉동 체인버에 넣은 이후에 압력을 낮추고 진공 상태를 만들면서 온도를 조금 가열을 하면 얼린 우유 안에 있는 수분은 날아가고 이 안에 있는 파우더 우유만 남는다고 해요. 그래서 우유의 성분이나 우유의 특성을 건드리지 않고 농도를 진하게 한다고 합니다. 대회에서는 스팀을 뜨겁게 하셨다고 해요. 그래서 55도로 스팀을 치시고 서빙을 하실 때는 50도로 서빙을 하셨다고 합니다.
Yes, the result with this milk powder was very sweet, very textural as well. It had a texture like chocolate mousse. I've added a little bit too much to this one, so I'll pour less in the next one.
이 우유 혼합물을 사용함으로써 스윗하고 텍스처가 부드러워져서 초콜릿 무스 같은 느낌을 낸다고 합니다. 근데 지금 처음에 만드신 거는 우유를 조금 많이 넣으셨다고 해요.
Okay, that's perfect.
여러분 죄송해요. 저 혼자 먹어서
You look very happy right now.
너무 맛있어. 초콜릿 무스.
Right.
우유가 약간 파우더 때문인지 몰라도 뭔가 입안에서 식감이 있어요. 무스 같이.
Right? Yeah.
아 진짜 커피 잘 만드시네요. 월드 바리스타 챔피언 하실만 하네. 진짜 맛있어. 커피를 물론 맛있게 해주셨지만 대회가 또 이렇게 커피만 맛있게 만든다고 1등을 할 수 있는 건 아니잖아요. 이번 대회를 통해서 뭐를 말씀하시려고 하셨어요?
Yeah, so my concept was about trust and essentially building trust with the customers. I believe that the barista has a lot of responsibility because at the end of the day, they're the face of the coffee. They're representing the hard work of the producers, the roasters, the exporters, the packers, everyone before them in the chain.
Everything I dreamt of it was true. I take your blessings with your heart.